Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I promised many people that I would be making this channel, and here we are. Welcome to the Common Man Off Grid Life. This channel will be dedicated to the common man. Who is the common man? It's you and me, the everyday working man who are struggling to make ends meet, and we would like a more cost effective life. One of the ways that I believe that we can get a cost effective life is to go off grid. Now, before we go anywhere else, everybody's going to always talk about, it's too expensive to go off grid and stuff like that. Um, and I thought so too. It's not super expensive to go off grid, and you can purchase your parts one piece at a time with the paycheck. If you're paid every 2 weeks and you can basically sacrifice a 50 here, 100 there, you can eventually achieve going off grid within a couple of months. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to bring up some numbers in a moment, and that is going to best help you to understand. But currently, within about 3 weeks, I've created my own little system already that I'm able to take my fridge or my TV and my Xbox off grid. The only problem is that I do not have a system to recharge the battery. So we're gonna get into that for the moment. But like I said before, these videos are going to be dedicated to the common man, about helping the common man get off grid. Things are getting more and more expensive. Food is getting expensive, electricity is getting expensive, water is getting expensive, and of course, it's winter, so gas is going to be coming into the fray. And right now, many of us we're losing our homes. Many of us we're trying to choose which bill we can pay and which bill we can basically, you know, kind of hold back a little bit of. So, you know, let me just say this. In time of doing this, you will be able to take yourself off grid. As I've said before, in the video that's going to be following this, is that I'm going to show you my unboxing of my Life PO4 battery, my battery cables, and I've had an inverter that my uncle gave me some time ago. It's no longer working, but I was able to still use it to power the equipment that I needed to power and to gain more understanding of what I need to do. When you're getting into this type of lifestyle, there's a lot of writing down that you're going to have to do. There's a lot of calculating that you're going to have to do. All right, hold on. My daughter wants to pass. So let me pause the video. Uh, What I was talking about, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. But let me just say this real quickly. One of the main things that you're going to have to do is a lot of calculating. You're going to have to do a lot of calculating in terms of money, of how things cost, and how much wattage of power and the voltage of power that your equipment uses. This information, very, very beginner friendly, is going to be useful in the long run. It's going to help you along your way. So I'm going to encourage everyone that as you begin to build your system, that you find out the wattage of power that each of your equipment that you desire to take off of the grid uses. And that will help you to understand where your steps are going to be and what you need to do. Anyway, people, I hope you enjoyed the video. Enough love and respect.
All right, everybody. So, um, I had this inverter here, which was given to me by my uncle. As you can see, it's a 500-watt inverter, and it works mainly with your car. But it has the terminals that you can basically, you know, um, install your battery. I bought the battery cables yesterday from from Amazon. So, we're gonna see how that turns out. Right now, I'm really and truly excited to see this run my fridge and, to get the system started. So this 500 watt inverter, basically, it has the USB, has the two plugs, and that's it for now. Um, we're gonna see how it works. My battery arrived like from last week, and I did not take it out. I opened the box yesterday because I wanted to make sure that if it did or did not come with the battery cables. It did not, so I had to purchase the battery cables and have them overnight to me by Amazon. This is a 4 AWG or 4 gauge battery cables, and the reason why I got 4 instead of 2 is because I plan to eventually, save up and get the 3000 watt inverter or more, and then I plan to, whatever it is, so that way I wouldn't have to buy the battery cables. But I know eventually, as I buy more batteries, I'm going to have to, get more battery cables. So right now, let's get to it. Let's start, unboxing the battery. Right now, I'm going to move a lot of stuff out of the way so that we can see what's going on with the battery. All right, here we got the instruction manual, operation and maintenance manual. I'm definitely going to need this, and I definitely will be reading this. So, basically my solar setup, I would believe, in my honest opinion, that my solar setup is literally at about, say, 60 to 70% right now, which I think is good, Oh my gosh. So the box doesn't feel heavy, but the battery itself does. Wow. So, yeah, this is the box. Nothing left on the inside. I'm just gonna have my kids play with it if they want to play with it. But it was completely secure inside the box though, which is good. And here, my friends, is the Lyfe PO4 battery, the smart BMS inside lithium iron phosphate battery. All right, and it is a 12.8 volts 100 amp hour battery. All right, and its capacity is going to be 1280 watt hours. So once you reach like 1000 watts in terms of your components or whatever it is that you have attached to it, I would stop right there. All right, so let me see if I can zoom in so you can get a better look at the battery. I'll let you bring the camera in a little bit. There we go. So it can max out at least at 120 amp instead of just 100 amps. That's the max output. So it can charge even in minus 45 degrees Celsius. The charge temp minus 20, minus 65. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong anyway. All right, so you see the battery itself. I'm gonna zoom out. Yeah, so that's where we are right now in terms of this system. So I'm going to now start putting on the battery cables. One thing I want to tell you people is to make sure that you do not, in this process, you do not allow the positive and negative poles to touch. Do not allow the positive and negative poles to touch, as you know the manual has said. Black is your negative and red is your positive, and I'm going to show you that right now. Right, look, I'm making sure that you know this. NEG stands for negative, and POS is positive. I mean, if you turn the battery like this anyway, you'll see it like that. All right, negative and positive. And I'm sorry that you hear my children upstairs. They're always fighting. They're always, you know, kids. Children will be children. That's how they are. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm going to take these off. Just turn it. It's kind of cold, so it's really hard for me to, like, you know, get stuff. Okay, so these are actually nuts or screws that you basically have to, you put the poles on and then you basically do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on one and then connect it to the 500 watt, and then I'll put on the other and then connect it. So I'm going to put the negative on first and connect it, and then put on the positive and then connect it. Okay, so let's start with the negative. Let's start with the negative. As a matter of fact, I should actually be using my before I even do that, I am going to be taking my my ohms meter, and I'm going to be testing this battery to see if it has any energy in it. Usually when they ship these batteries, they actually have a little bit of energy in them. So I am going to be testing it. Alright, so I'm going to pause, get my ohms meter, and then test the battery. Alright friends, so now I have my ohms meter, and I'm just going to use this to check to see if the battery has any charge in it. So if it reads like above 12 point, sorry, my voice is kind of cracking because I'm still recovering from having the coughs. If my ohms meter reads like above 12 point, sorry, right here, if it reads above 12.3 or anything like that, then it still has, you know, charge. All right, so you put it on, you have to put it on DC, and then let's go over here. All right, positive to positive, negative to negative. Maybe I should back it up a little bit. I should probably back it up a little bit so you guys can see. Yeah, all right, so let's hope you can see this from all the way over there. All right, ready? That's kind of weird because I was getting a different reading, so I don't know what's going on at this point in time. So I'm going to try to basically try it again. All right, and see if I'll get a different reading. Okay, so right now I'm getting 13.19 volts. Right now I'm getting 13.19 volts, DC volts basically. I'm gonna turn it off. So that's pretty good. So right now I'm going to start, you know, putting on the and by the way, people, I'm not an expert at this, and I don't really know how to read the ohms meter properly. So maybe I should have done a little bit more research on that. So if there's anyone who's an electrician, or like my father who is a electrician, an auto electrician who had to go through all of this to get his degree and whatever it is about, you know, using these devices and stuff like that. If you feel free to correct me, okay? All right, so like I said, I'm gonna just connect the two positives first. Let me start with this. Probably needs to be a little bit tighter next because this don't feel like super tight. I don't want anything being loose, but you know, like I said before, right now it's just the all right. This is also the positive. So again, people, make sure that you know positive and negative. Red is usually for positive and black is usually for negative. Whereas sometimes when you're working on a home as an electrician, black is the positive and white is usually the ground or the negative. So I'm just letting you know. All right, people, I'm just letting you know. Now connecting the negative terminal. Yeah. I thought these are supposed to be like 6 feet long. I don't know why they're so short though. But okay. Now I'm going to be putting on the negative on this side as well. Okay. And there you have it, a fully connected inverter. This is a fully connected inverter, and now the moment of truth is going to be coming, in which I will now be turning on the inverter. Okay, so there's the power button right here. And let's press the power button. The last time I used it, it turned blue. So if it turns on, it's supposed to be blue. Ah! There we go, my friends. There we go, my friends. The inverter is on. The inverter is on. Now to use this inverter and test running the TV on this lithium iron phosphate battery, 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour battery. All right. So this inverter should be able to run modern day TVs, because most modern day TVs are at about 132, 120 watts. All right, so I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna bring my battery over to the TV. I'm gonna bring my I'm gonna bring my battery and my inverter over, and then let's see what's going on. After I run the TV, then I'm gonna run the fridge and see what's up. Then I'm gonna pause. Oh, one more thing I want you guys to not forget, which is going to be very, very important for when you start doing stuff like this, is that you must make sure that you get your circuit breakers. That's the next thing I'm also getting. Circuit breakers can be $17 a piece on Amazon. The ones that you need for your solar journey is going to be $17 a piece. Make sure you get your circuit breakers. Make sure you do not forget to get your circuit breakers. You should have a circuit breaker between the charge controller and the battery, and between the battery and the inverter should be a circuit breaker. You need that safety precaution, people. Do not forget to get your circuit breakers, all right? Because this is just raw energy going to the inverter right now, and you want to have a circuit breaker to make sure that if there's too much energy right now, you can basically, the circuit breaker will shut that energy off while you're able to basically disconnect everything. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? You don't want stuff blowing up on you when you're at the beginning of your journey, especially if you're like me, if you don't have the funds to buy back anything, or if everything costs a lot of money and stuff like that, and you don't have that money. Listen to me, people. Spend the extra $17 a piece and get those circuit breakers. You're gonna need one between the solar panels and the charge controller, and then you're gonna need one between the charge controller and the battery, and then you're gonna need one between the battery and the inverter. Please do not forget, because after I done test all of this stuff, I'm taking it apart, I'm taking it off. By this, I'm buying my circuit breakers by next week so that I can start doing stuff. But like I said before, hopefully by December, by the last, not the last month of the year, by December, I am going to be hopefully taking my fridge and my washing machine off grid using this one battery right here for now, and then save up and get another battery and start my series of building my solar system bit by bit as a common poor man. And I'm gonna just make a channel like that too. I'm gonna hold on to my videos, make a channel, and upload the videos there. But anyway, people, pause. Alright guys, as you can see, it is now connected to the TV and the Xbox, right? So the moment of truth is coming. I'm gonna turn on the inverter. Alright, the inverter is on. The thing about this inverter is that it's very old. I don't hear the fan on the inverter running. And now I'm going to test the TV. Let's see if the TV will turn on. Okay, so the TV came on. Alright, so alright. Yeah, the fan for the inverter hasn't come on, so I definitely need a new inverter. Now I'm gonna turn on the Xbox. So I'm waiting for the Xbox to boot. Okay, so the Xbox has booted. So you can definitely run a system on a 500 watt inverter if you can buy that. You can start with your, TV and your Xbox or whatever it is, taking those things off of the system. So a TV generally runs about 150 to say 200 watts per hour, and the Xbox likely the same, because I did the video where I tested it to see how much watts the Xbox was running and how much watts the TV was running. So right now I'm gonna pause this now. Definitely the TV can run, definitely the Xbox can be run, and the battery. My main concern is that I'm gonna probably have to, until my solar system is fully set up, I'm probably gonna have to get a DC to DC charger to use the EcoFlow to charge this battery and make sure the battery is fully charged, and then take the battery off the charger, and then for a couple of days let the fridge run on that. All right, so the next thing now that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be testing out the fridge on the inverter, on the 120 watt inverter, to see if the fridge can actually even start and run on that inverter. All right, pause. All right, friends and family, so as you can see right now, it is now connected to the fridge. This is the plug-in for the fridge. All right, so now we're going to basically test and see if, I'm wondering if the different plugs are like different sides. I'm not sure, maybe I should check, but let's see. So right now, all right, you know what, just to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna do that. Oops, I ended up turning it on. All right, so let's see if the fridge is, yep, the fridge is functional. Yep, fully on, working. And I already did a video, and I will, basically talk about this at the end of my video. Let me see if the water is working. Yes. So it has enough energy to function the way it's supposed to function. A 500 watt inverter will basically take your fridge off of the, off of the grid. And this is a budget friendly thing. This is a budget friendly thing that you can basically take your fridge off of the grid with a Lyfe PO4 battery and a inverter. And you know what? We're going to go over the pricing. We're going to go over the pricing at the end of this video with a lot of things. So, yeah, there you have it, guys. There you have it. This is my solar setup, but this inverter is bad. I've had it for a long time. I don't even hear the fan inside it spinning, and that's not going to be good because literally the inverter will practically burn out. And again, people, again, I'm going to say this again. Get your circuit breakers, put them on your between your inverter and your battery. Charge controller and your battery, circuit breaker, again between them. And between your solar panels and your charge controller, circuit breaker again. All right, people, this is what I read, this is what I understood, and this is what I'm doing. I'm not encouraging anybody just to do stuff willy-nilly. Look at what many people have done and follow the norm. You understand? If these people have not encountered any serious electrical problems, then these are the things that you shouldn't be doing. Don't shortcut. Don't listen to side door Nancy's or anything like that. Side seat Susie's or anybody like that. You understand? Listen to the people who have done the most common things and it has worked for them. It should be working for you. So this is what I've been doing too. I've been watching, I've been reading, I've been doing a lot of Googling, I've been doing a lot of studying and things such as that, people. But again, Lyfe PO4 battery. The Lyfe PO4 battery cost me $110. Right? It was $90 plus tax on Amazon. So $110. The inverter, I'm going to probably have to look up the 500 watt inverter online. All right, but I'm going to be buying out a 3000 watt inverter soon. That's $124 for that. And then your circuit breakers are roughly $20 a piece. So that's basically $60. So we can basically just look up and see what it would take to take your fridge and, certain components off of the grid and make your electric bill a little bit lighter on you, and then put that money to the side. Start building more and more and more. And the more you build, the less you have to pay, and the less and the more sufficient you become for yourself and your family. All right, people. So anyway, enough love and respect. Tell me what you think in the comment section, but I'm gonna have a little video behind this. Bye.